Take a look at this. We now have video of that dramatic moment where a crane crashed from 45 stories up in Midtown Manhattan yesterday. At least 12 people were injured, and that part of town had to be evacuated and blocked off. ABC's Rena Roy with why the company had at least 2 prior collapses, which were deadly.
Terrifying video shows the moments this crane caught fire before collapsing into the heart of Midtown Manhattan. People below on the street running for cover. This video showing panicked construction workers inside the building.
Should we get out? I don't know. Is it going to keep falling off? Let's go!
The crane was moving 16 tons of concrete when it dislodged, slamming into a high-rise, then falling more than 45 stories around 7:30 a.m. Wednesday as morning rush hour began to kick off.
It sounded like a bomb went off.
These roommates describing the sound as the crane smashed through their window.
I heard a big explosion and then something falling, and then all 3 of my window panes flew in my face.
Construction worker Delisha McInnes was working on the bike path on the nearby West Side Highway when she saw the fire. She called 911.
It's scary. You have so many high rises going up. They have a building going up every week.
According to the New York City Fire Department, 12 people on the ground were injured, including 3 firefighters.
This could have been much worse.
Officials say hydraulic fluid leaked, sparking flames in the engine of that crane. ABC News has learned the company that owned the crane in this incident also was involved in 2 deadly crane collapses 15 years ago. We reached out to the company for comment and so far have not heard back. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Extreme heat across the U.S. has now threatened the nation's largest power grid. PJM Interconnection issued an emergency alert today. It calls for all of its systems to be online due to heightened demand, even those that are on a planned outage. PJM manages electricity for over 65 million people across several states. That includes Illinois, Michigan, New Jersey, Tennessee, and West Virginia. Over 140 million people are under heat alerts across much of the country, with record-breaking temperatures expected through at least Saturday.
The U.S. economy grew stronger than expected in the second quarter, but consumers are pulling back. Growth from April through June showed the economy's continued resilience in the face of steadily higher interest rates. Driving the gain was a burst of business investment, with companies putting more money into factories and equipment. Spending by state and local governments also helped fuel growth.
For the 11th time in 17 months, the Federal Reserve has boosted interest rates. The Fed wants these interest rate hikes to bring down inflation. Inflation has been cooling off recently, but not enough for the Federal Reserve. So what does this mean for you? Economists say the biggest impact will be on borrowers because the Fed's benchmark lending rate impacts car loans, credit cards, and mortgages. For people looking for a home loan, this latest round of interest hikes means they'll pay more for their property. The historic series of interest rates has sidelined many would-be home buyers, and there's no guarantee relief is coming anytime soon.
Inflation is still too high. The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates aggressively to slow the economy and get that inflation back down.
Economists say more rate hikes could be ahead this year.
Looking out there with live cam, there's my 92 degrees.
But only at 12:30.
I know. This is amazing.
Just had to be patient.
Apparently.
Yeah, a couple of clouds in the sky. This rich high pressure that's bringing us all this heat, it's kind of expanding, and so it's covering more real estate now. There's a lot of places in the United States that are dealing with some big-time heat, and it's probably going to get worse. You look at St. Louis, it's 95. Chicago's not that much cooler than we are. They're sitting at 90 right now. In New York City, same story, 90 degrees there. 96 in El Paso, the normal hot spots in the 100s, 100 in Vegas, 102 in Phoenix. It's still the Pacific Northwest. That's the good place to be right now. 66 in Portland, 68 right now in Seattle. But the rest of the country dealing with the heat, including Texas. You're not going to find a place under 90 degrees except out towards Marfa here in the Lone Star State. They're at 87, a little elevated, it helps. But the rest of the state above 90 degrees and warming. Quick check of the authority radar. We do have some showers and storms right along the coast, a little sea breeze action like we've seen the last couple of days, but this is well off to our east. This is almost nearing Houston. We're not going to see it here. So mostly sunny skies and hot temperatures. 99 at 3 o'clock. We're up around 100 today. Heat index probably 101, 102. And then by tonight, we drop down into the 80s. It probably takes until 11 o'clock for that to happen. and then down into the low 80s by midnight. As we finish out July, we're looking at some pretty impressive stats. Where do we rank as far as hottest Julys on record? We're going to show that to you coming up in just a couple minutes.
Looking forward to it. Thanks for that, Justin. Now, July is National Cleft and Craniofacial Awareness Month.
And a local San Antonio mother is sharing her experience with her son who was born with a cleft palate and lip. Take a listen.
Hearing anything is wrong with your child can be devastating.
Gloria Madera found out during her 20-week anatomy scan that her son Archie would be born with a cleft lip and palate on the left side of his mouth. This means he had a hole in between his lips and on the roof of his mouth. Cleft is one of the most common birth defects, and about 1 in 700 children are born with either a cleft lip or palate, and in this case, some are born with both. Madera believes raising awareness for how often this happens is important.
The world can be kind of a mean place sometimes, especially with kids. Exposing your own children to differences of people can really help open their eyes.
That is so important. So far, Archie's journey has consisted of 3 surgeries at 6 months old. Bless his little heart. He had his cleft lip repaired at 10 months. The palate was repaired. Archie also had some tubes put in because cleft affects children. Cleft-affected children tend to have some speech impediments and hearing challenges. Archie will need to have more surgeries in the future, but the amount of surgeries needed is just not known right now. You can read more about Archie and Gloria's journey by heading over to our website, KSAT12.
And the Right Start program is still accepting school supply donations for kids. But this is the last week of the program. The teachers of Somerset and Judson ISD will be getting the supplies this year. And United Way is looking for volunteers to help with the donations on August 4th. If you still have stuff to donate yourself, you can visit any Cavender Auto dealership in San Antonio or visit United Way directly at 700 South Alamo Street. You can also buy a school supply bag by texting Right Start to 41444.
Even though the heat isn't letting up, summer isn't winding down, or is winding down in another sense. Yeah, check it out. School backpacks. Kids headed back to school soon, and they have a chance for a fresh start this year thanks to a group of community leaders. The Maloff International Group is partnering up with Big Brothers Big Sisters and Urban Air. They're giving away 750 free backpacks full of school supplies. This giveaway starts at 6 p.m. tonight at Urban Air on 1604 and Bandera Road. It's on a first-come, first-served basis. Kids are also going to get a free ticket to jump and play at the Urban Air Park until 9 o'clock tonight. A hack used by travelers to get a better deal on flights now leading to a lawsuit. But a major airline is not going after the customers.
All right, get ready for more pain at the pump. Gas prices went up 12 cents in 3 days. According to AAA, the national average for regular gasoline climbed 2 cents Thursday to $3.71 a gallon. That's the highest in 8 months. But that's still well below the painful levels of last year. In June of 2022, gas prices hit a record of more than $5 a gallon. The sudden spike is partly due to a jump in oil prices as recession fears fade and OPEC cuts production. Another potential issue, extreme heat. Some refineries, including at least one ExxonMobil facility, have had to undergo maintenance in recent days because of the extreme temperatures.
American Airlines is suing a travel website over the cost-saving hack, which is known as Hidden Cities. It involves booking a flight with a layover at your intended destination and then just skipping the second leg of the flight. It's used to save money if you are connecting with a cheaper flight than flying direct, and that sometimes does happen. American and other airlines have banned the practice, and now American is suing the travel website Kiwi, alleging its involvement in this Hidden Cities hack. American says Kiwi is no longer authorized to sell the airline's tickets, but still continues to do so. He says Kiwi is using a workaround where its customers' orders are taken and then they fulfill them on American's website.
Taking a look at live cam, it's 12:43 and we have climbed another degree. Look at that, 93 Well, making up for not being at 92 at the start of the show. Justin.
Well, so those are the in-between readings. We go off the hourly reading, which is 91 for the almanac, but we likely are, we're climbing up above that number, and we'll be well above average this afternoon. The record is 106, set back in 1954. We don't get there, thankfully, but 100, yeah, good bet. Same story for the next couple of days. Will there be any relief, and what's going on in the tropics? We're going to look into that, too, coming up.
All right, it's possible that our weather map is having a Barbie day.
Ursula's in theme.
I'm in theme.
Yeah,
and
you are.
I'm wondering if the weather map is going to be fuchsia.
It's pretty close to that color.
Barbie pink.
I'm a Barbie girl one time on there.
Only during the
If it's
commercials.
pink enough, maybe.
Only during in the commercials.
And you're seeing the movie
Tonight.
Okay. Yeah, well, some of our maps do have that color. Unfortunately, it's not a good thing because our temperatures are soaring. Speaking of, let's look at some statistics here. You know, last year was brutal, right? So we had the month of July, we averaged 89.8. So that's the average temperature altogether. That was a record, the highest, warmest July we've ever seen. We are right behind it this year. We're at 89.4. So if July were to end today, we would finish second as the hottest July ever recorded in San Antonio. And if you're just looking at the high temperature, we'd also finish second. We are just behind last year, which was 101.6. This year, we're averaging 100.8. What a stretch. These last 2 years have been brutal. We've been setting records left and right. Looks like this July will go down in the record books. No reason that it won't, considering the forecast going forward. And you look at the calendar for July, hundreds basically each and every day. There was a week there where we didn't get to 100, but we've had 19 days so far this month at 100 or above, the hottest being 106, back on the 13th. We are forecasting to be near 100 today, and over the next couple of days, we'll be close. Maybe 99 tomorrow. We'll see where we end up. 93 at Stinson right now, 92 Kelly, 91 at Randolph. And the dew points, they're on their way down, but we're still in the upper 60s, so it's still muggy out there, and that's still making for a heat indice or a heat index that's up above 95. 98 is what it feels like in Helotes. 96 is what it feels like at the airport. 99 in Bulverde feels like 100 in Gonzales. You'll start to see triple digits popping up on this map probably by next hour. The dew point trend calls for those dew points to fall as we head into the afternoon. We started the day in the 70s. We fall down into the 50s for dew points by late afternoon. Says comfortable. I don't think we can call it that, but it won't be as humid. It'll be more of a dry heat by, say, 4 or 5 o'clock. So your KSAT 12-hour forecast, 99 at 3 o'clock, 100 at 4 p.m., 100 at 5 and 6 o'clock, and then we're down into the low 90s by 10 p.m., and it's mostly sunny. Let's go out to the tropics very quickly. We do have a wave that's traveling east to west across the Atlantic. Doesn't look great. It's encountering some wind shear. It's not organized at all, in fact. But the Hurricane Center is keeping an eye on this, and they're giving out a 40% chance of development over the next several days. It's probably going to take until it gets just east of the islands for there to be some sort of development or organization. But that's what they're thinking. And the computer models, for the most part, want to take this north and away from land, which is a good thing if it develops at all. But the name would be Emily, if it did get a name, followed by Franklin and Gert. So our future cast shows our ridge of high pressure staying in place with a little area of low pressure working up underneath our ridge. This doesn't bring us any rain. And then the high pressure moves back over top of us by, say, Tuesday into Wednesday. Ursula, that's almost the color of your outfit there. It's close.
We'll get there.
Yeah, almost. So Tuesday and Wednesday next week could be pretty hot. But I think by late next week, there's some encouraging pattern change. At least I hope that maybe it cools down some. So 100 Saturday, 101 Sunday. We get some of those warm temperatures Monday and Tuesday, and hopefully beyond that 7-day forecast, things do get better. We'll be right back.
Here's a question. What do you give a 2-year-old who is obsessed with mail trucks for birthday?
Well, CNN's Jenny Mose reports his favorite mail carrier stepped up to make the memorable day and even brought along some friends with them.
It's always nice getting mail. But a mail truck parade left this Simsbury, Connecticut mom gasping.
So Colby was very vocal that he wanted to have a mail truck birthday.
Jessica Bergman's son Colby was turning 2, and he's obsessed with mail trucks and his letter carrier, Mailman Mike. So Mom called the local post office, and Mailman Mike made it happen. A mail truck parade that also included a fire truck and even some garbage trucks that actually picked up the garbage.
This is amazing!
And just when you thought it was over, the police chimed in. I mean, is he already talking about being a mailman when he grows up?
No, I mean, he wants to be a mail truck for Halloween.
As soon as the parade ended, Mailman Mike unloaded a gift.
Look at that!
Out of his mail truck, a simulated mail truck for Colby.
Look at that!
The kind a kid can ride on.
That's just what you needed.
Colby even got a certificate.
Honorary letter carrier.
That he now keeps in his mail truck. His birthday included a mail truck cake and a postal service counter, along with a postal uniform just his size.
This is like one of the first pictures that Colby ever drew. It's of a mail truck.
That's a mail truck?
Yeah.
Can't you tell? An abstract artiste like Colby wouldn't dream of just mailing it in. Ginny Moose, CNN.
Thank you, Mailman Mike.
New York.
Mailman Mike delivers.
He did. Now what are they going to do next year? There's nothing left.
Start getting that kid some driving lessons. Colby, we need you on the streets delivering mail. A mailman you can trust.
Yes, there you go. And the guy you can always trust to have a smile on his face, there he is, Mike Osterhage.
Well, I will make you smile as well, because you want something, you want to get some stuff at really reduced prices or even free. All you have to do is say the magic word, which in this case is SA Live. Tell you what a deal. We'll tell you all about this place, where you can find it. Speaking of free, how about a free art event coming up this weekend? Artist Albert Gonzalez is here, and this is for how many kids you getting together here?
1,000 kids, and it's all about wabi-sabi.
Wabi-sabi?
Yep.
Is that an art term?
It's a Japanese philosophy.
Okay, we'll explain that coming up. You'll love it. All right, Jen, she on this hot day is getting a cup of coffee. What's up, Jen?
That's right, a cup of iced coffee, and it's all about canine and coffees here at Kiki's Coffee, the newest spot in San Antonio. The motto, dogs are saints, coffee is religion. There's so many cute things about this shop, but look, here's one of them. It connects to Main and Company, the salon next door. We'll chat more, and you'll meet Kiki too.
Our dear friend Adina Anderson is talking everything outdoors and water park. Look at this. It's even a little guy floating in the water right there. We'll tell you more about that and a whole lot more coming up on SA Live, so stick around.